Should rules, laws, disciplines, and punishments become things of the past? This is the life lesson we'll learn from the 27th and final star of Vedic astrology, Bharani, the Regulator. In this series, Life Lessons of the Vedic Nakshatra, we'll discover how life really works by exploring the 27 constellations through the mystical Sanskrit words of the Vedic Nakshatra Sutra. Kind of amazing how fast we got to the end of 27 Nakshatra life lessons. In this series, what we've done is study the Vedas through Taittiriya Brahmana, because Taittiriya Brahmana has a section that's super relevant to astrology that we call the Nakshatra Sutra. So let's do this. Let's study the final sutra, the Sutra for Bharani. And let's begin, as always, by listening to the original Sanskrit form of it.
Yamasya Bharani Apakashanta Prastat Apavahando Vasta Yamasya Bharani Apakashanta Prastat Apavahando Vasta.
So the statement in Sanskrit is Yamasya Bharani Apakarshanta Prastat Apavahanto Vastat. Now, to put that in English, it's going to take about 10 minutes. Watch the whole video and then you'll understand what it means in English. But let's start with this kind of translation. The restraint of the regulator needs to bear down to deliver. And let's start to look at the specific words involved in the sutra. Okay, there's 4 important words: yamasya, or yama, apabharana, apakarshanta, and apavahana. Well, let's start with Yama. Now, this obviously literally means that the god named Yama is the deva, or the deity, or the divinity that owns this nakshatra. And so if you know about who Yama is and what Yama does, the whole sutra is going to make tons of sense, and you already have like a 50-meter head start and a 100-meter dash to understanding what Bharani nakshatra is all about. But let's look at the word itself, what yama means. The word yama means discipline, restraint, and it has to do with laws and ethics that enforce disciplines and restraints on things. And so the god Yama is the one who enforces the universal laws, enforces the law of karma, you might say. Okay, so that's the first word, is yamasya. And the second word is apabharani. Apabharani means somebody who restrains and curbs and regulates. The third word is apakarshanta, and that means to bring something down, or to push something down, or to bear down on something. So it's like curbing, restricting, regulating. And then the fourth important word is apavahanta, which means to deliver downward, to deliver it down. Since the nakshatra belongs to Yama, and since Yama means restrictions, laws, morals, principles, discipline, then you know that's the basic nature of this nakshatra. The basic nature of this nakshatra is keeping things within acceptable boundaries. It's ensuring that things go in a disciplined, responsible manner. So that's the nature of this nakshatra. It wants some good thing to flourish, and for that sake, it's going to hold things down and not let certain things happen that would interfere with that good thing. Now, if we look at the next word, apabharana, in more detail, bharana, it's based on the word bharana. Bharana means to bear weight. Bear, like bear, bharana, to carry. To bear weight, to bear responsibility. And so that also conveys the nature of this nakshatra is it's a very responsible, weighty place. The way that the stars of this nakshatra are usually depicted is like as a downward triangle, which is a vulva. It's the symbol for a vulva, and literally in India, it's depicted as a vulva, the female reproductive organ. And that very word Bharani literally means the woman who's carrying a child. So, if you think about carrying a child, how serious it is to carry a child, become a parent, the responsibilities that come along with that. If you think about that, then you will get a very good intuitive grasp for the nature of Bharani, how it deals with responsibility and seriousness, and not just being a whimsical teenager anymore or a whimsical bachelor anymore. Now you're going to get serious and dedicate yourself to something more important, to the flourishing of something more important. Now, these days we just call the nakshatra Bharani, but in the old days they called it Appa Bharani, and you see that in the sutra, Appa Bharani. Appa, and you see this prefix Appa recurs 3 times in three out of the 6 words. And 3 out of the 4 words, really, that are unique to each sutra. Appa means downward. And it's like downward in a sort of heavy way. So if you say Appa Bharana, Bharana means to carry weight, but Appa Bharana means to push down. So that's why I use words like curb and restrict and discipline. Push it down, hold it down. That's the nature of this nakshatra, to hold it down, curb it, discipline, restrict, push it down. Now let's look at the 3rd word in more detail, apakarshana. Karshan means to drag something, to pull something, or to hold it. Like if you crumble something together and make it stick together, it's karshana. So now you put the appa prefix on this, and instead of just pulling or dragging or holding, now it's downward. Holds you down, puts you in cuffs. You will not do that. Pushes down. Apakarshan. It's apakarshan prastat. This nakshatra, to function, requires the ability to perform apakarshana, which means exert discipline, exert control, exert restraint. And if we go back to the motif of the nakshatra as the vulva and Bharani as the childbearing woman, that's exactly what the woman has to do, is bear down. Even in, I think, Lamaze and stuff, they tell you to bear down. I remember this from the delivery rooms, bear down. It's like, that's what you have to do, is you have to push down apakarshan to deliver a child. And that delivery is the 4th word in the sutra, apavahana. Apavahana is based on the word vahana, which means to deliver. And now add the word appa, add the prefix appa, so you get the sense of, delivering means to give, right? But now apavahana means delivering down. So it's perfectly in keeping with the pregnancy theme. But it also has the nature of the restriction theme. You've been bad. You are going to be punished. You're going down. Apavahana. I'm sending you to the hells. Sit there for a while and see what it feels like to have people treat you the way you treated them. Why do you send these people to hell? Why do you put criminals in jail? Because I got a 6-year-old daughter over here who doesn't need a freaking madman walking around in her neighborhood. You take that madman and you send him to hell. You send him to prison. Keep him out of the way of my precious thing. Why is a woman going to suffer and ruin all the fun in her life? That's the way it looks, right? You're going to just become like a responsible mom. No more sexy, fun, young woman. Now you're a soccer mom. Now you're a mom. And your life is full of all this cooking, cleaning, washing, going to school, PTA meetings. Why? Why would they do that? Because there's something really beautiful that they believe in and that they cherish that's going to come into the world as a result of that hard work. I mean, Yama's purpose is flourishing of the world. That's why he enforces the laws, the cosmic laws. The nature of Bharani Nakshatra is it wants to protect good things and wants to deliver good things into the world. And because of that, it's going to get rid of all the bad stuff. It's going to hold down, push down all the bad stuff. I'm pregnant. I can't drink alcohol. I'm a mom now. No more running around. Let me stay home and be with my child. So a lot of restriction comes, but the restriction isn't of a negative nature. The restriction is of the nature of protecting something very, very positive. Now that this series is done, it's time for me to get my act together, do the final edit on the book that I'm going to publish on Nakshatra Sutra, and get it out, publish it. a month to 2 months, you should be able to get it. And in the book, I'll tell you more. Every nakshatra will have a section, a couple of paragraphs on how to interpret various planets in the nakshatra. But for the video, let's skip it right now and let's go to the life lesson that we were talking about. Right? The life lesson was, should discipline and laws and punishment become things of the past? Are those archaic things? Should we move into a society which doesn't need discipline and all that stuff? So what this whole sutra is teaching you about is that punishment and discipline has a lot of importance. But in the modern world, there's a push away from punishment, away from discipline, as if these are caveman type of things. But the truth is, at least, I don't know if this is the truth or not, or if I want to say that it's the truth, but the way the Vedas depict this is that actually in ancient times, very ancient times, in an age called Satya age, the age of truth, there were no rules. There was no punishment, there was no discipline, there were no rules. Because in that age, people were very, very selfless and pure in heart, naturally. And so what's the need of rule? Where there's love and selflessness, there's no need for rule, because love is the ultimate fulfillment of all the rules. But my friends, if you look out your window, turn on your news feed or look at the television or read a newspaper, if you can get yourself to tell me that the nature of people alive and kicking today is selfless and pure predominantly, then I need to be smoking the same stuff that you're smoking. The modern world, which is the furthest away from Satya Yuga, it's the Kali Yuga, people are spontaneously selfish and wicked. And we need a lot of rules. When people are spontaneously good and loving, they don't need any rules. But 99% of us in today's world need tons of rules. We need a lot of enforcing. Otherwise, we are going to eat each other. If you just think I'm going to be anarchy, I'm not going to follow any rules, I'm just going to live by love. But that's a bunch of crap, because you haven't purified your heart and you don't even know what love is. So if you just go off and say, I don't need rules, you're going to self-destruct. And all the people that rely on you, to feed them, to care for them, to show them love, to show them attention, are going to get damaged in that explosion of your self-destruction. And you're going to be responsible for all that. And guess what, Yama? And you don't even believe in Yama and you think it's a bunch of crap. But why do you think there's people who are born all messed up in crappy situations? Because of this whole cycle of people being irresponsible, hurting other people, and then you have to feel what it's like. You get pushed down into that same hell that you created. So stop the cycle. Don't think that it's realistic to live in a world without punishments, to live in a world without rules, to live in a world without discipline. You do need to punish your children when they're wrong. You do need to set rules and limits and follow them. Otherwise, you're not going to have apavahana. Nothing good is going to come into the world through you. Only bad things. Now, let's look at this from another angle for a second. Bharani can malfunction. The way that every nakshatra can malfunction, and the way Bharani malfunctions is revealed by its parastat in the sutra. So the way Bharani malfunctions is to become totally apakarsha, which means dragging things down, really depressing, really heavy, really oppressive. That's how Bharani malfunctions. So the danger of imposing too many rules, too many restrictions, is that all of life becomes not worth living. It's just like living in a prison. You're not even a criminal, but now you live in a prison. The solution to this problem is also in the sutra as the avastat. The solution to the problem is apavahana, to deliver something into the world, to deliver the child. If you just want to express discipline and control of others for the sake of the feeling that I need to control and discipline others because I was disciplined and controlled, why should they be let to be free? Then that's just going to make the world disgusting as well. The restrictions and the laws are not the goal. The child, the beautiful thing, the thing that you want to flourish is the goal. Even in discipline and all that, it's actually love which is the supreme law. In Satya Yuga, when there's naturally love, there's no need for law. Even here in Kali Yuga, when there's tons of need for law, it's still love which is the driving force of the law. The love for your child will make you say, look, you're going to get sick if you go outside, run outside without your jacket. No, you can't go outside without your jacket. You will impose limits, basic limits, simple limits. That's going to be expressed and experienced as something positive because it's the love which is enforcing the discipline, not the discipline which is replacing a love.
Don't miss the life lessons from the other 26 star clusters of Vedic astrology. Subscribe to my channel now. And keep your ears up for announcements about the release of this book and the next online classes about it. Thanks.